3 teens arrested when they won't pull over. Hear why.
Plus, love is all around, but so are scammers. On this week's Rambosk Report. Welcome back to the Rambosk Report. I'm Adam Fisher.
And I'm Andrea Jones. We begin with those 3 teens charged with felonies after fleeing from CCSO deputies. 18, 17, 13. Those are the ages of those 3 young people inside a gray pickup that refused to stop for deputies on Everglades Boulevard. After eventually pulling over, the front seat passenger was bailed. And while a search for him ensued, deputies discovered drug paraphernalia and a stolen handgun inside the truck. Chris Perdigon, the one who bailed, was found hiding in a nearby garage. Perdigon is charged with burglary, resisting arrest, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Tristan Balderas was arrested for fleeing from law enforcement and unlawful possession of a firearm. And Frederick Prather, the youngest of the group, was also charged with fleeing.
Well, this week, Sheriff Rambosk briefed the Board of County Commissioners about the Homeland Security's 287G immigration program and its implementation here.
As far as the 287G program goes in Collier County, everyone that gets arrested and is brought into the jail for committing a crime against our residents, our neighbors, our businesses, and one another are all asked if they are a resident of the United States. That's where it all.
So the way it works is once inmates are in our custody, if deputies determine that the inmate is likely in the country illegally, they are held for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Over the last 17 years, CCSO has placed more than 11,000 detainers for ICE. 8,500 of those have been turned over to ICE, and more than 7,500 have been sent back to their home country after their sentences here have been fulfilled.
Switching gears, it's almost Valentine's Day, a perfect time to talk about romance scams, right? Yep. Romance scams happen when a criminal uses a fake profile to manipulate or steal from someone, usually through one of those dating apps. Here's Lieutenant Edwards.
They will convince these people that they are real love interests. They may say, let's meet, and then often come up with excuses not to meet. And then before you know it, they're asking for money. They say they're in financial need, or they need money to come visit you. And again, that never materializes.
And the lieutenant says, never send money to anyone you've only communicated with online. Always double check. If you send crypto, for example, it's nearly impossible to get that money back. And it's often a crime committed from overseas, so that's out of our jurisdiction. You can report romance scams to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov.
And while we're talking about scams, here's another one to look out for. Someone calls pretending to be from CCSO. They leave a voicemail telling you to call a specific person. When you call that number, you're connected with a recorded menu that sounds legit, but it's not. The goal is to get you to hand over your personal identification information. But that's not how we here at CCSO work. Always look for the legitimate contact information and verify it before responding to anything like that. And if you aren't sure, you can always call our Call Before You Pay hotline at 239-252-2255.
Yes, and those scams sometimes come through text nowadays, and it can happen to anybody. So always, before you're risking, your personal information, just take those few steps to do those verification things.
That's right. Before we go, we want to tell you about the latest episode of our Sworn Statement podcast. It just came out. This one's on the agency's drone unit and how it helps the citizens here in Collier County, what we respond to, and how everything works. It's very interesting if I do say so myself. Check it out where you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next week.